All right, we'll populate up here. Reaction time as CBS has gone dark on Selection Sunday. Welcome to beautiful Walk-Ons down Highway 280. After Alabama's won an SEC championship, they're also the #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. Let's set the table. You guys jump in. Questions already coming in the chat room. Jim Dunaway, Ryan Brown, Lance Taylor. Taylor Korn is here on site. She's handling everything social media for us. We're out here with our great friends at Redmont Vodka. This is not the real Charles Barkley.
Really?
But it's close enough. Our man Charles Barkley out here in Redmont Vodka getting us ready for the madness of March.
Look, locally owned, operated product, starting to invade Nashville a little bit. I saw that over the weekend. But win Chuck's Bucks, an opportunity to win $1 million from Redmont Vodka in the next round. So looking forward to this. You can fill out that bracket right now. If you already registered, we're sending out a reminder. So get registered because you got to get it done before Thursday morning.
Okay, a lot to get to after the brackets come down. I wore this shirt. The only time I've covered a Final Four was with Auburn back in the day. And now Alabama comes in as the #1 overall seed. They win today in Nashville, the SEC championship. That jumps them over Kansas, who lost in the Big 12 championship game, to get what we look to be the easiest path on the way to the Final Four. Never easy to get there. But of the path you could get there of the East, the West, the Midwest, and the South, Bama has the best draw. Another interesting story that we'll talk about is Auburn is a 9 seed, not a 10. They're a 9 seed, and they're in Birmingham. And that means if they win their first game against Iowa, they would play likely Houston in round number 2 on a virtual road game for Houston. So let's start with those two things. Let's start first with Alabama in Birmingham as the #1 overall seed. What was your reaction to that?
I think they got a great draw. They by far, in my opinion, for the 1 seeds, and I know we're going to get to Purdue, we'll get to Kansas, we'll get to Houston. But, second round, I think Maryland probably beats West Virginia, but that's not an 8-9 that scares me at all. I think the Big Ten is going to get exposed in this tournament as a fraud because they got 8 teams in just like the SEC. Arizona, the 2 seed, matches up great with Alabama. They would try to outscore Bama. I just don't think Arizona, it's a good team, knocking off UCLA to win the Pac-12. I don't think they're Alabama caliber when Alabama is on. The one team that scares me in that bracket is Baylor.
Yeah, Baylor's experienced, really good backcourt, as they always are. They don't seem to be the same defensive team as they have been recently. But for Alabama, Brownie, and we'll get to some of those questions in a second, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, or Southeastern Missouri State, the winner of that play-in game on Tuesday night, will play Alabama in Birmingham on Thursday at the Legacy Arena. Then Alabama would get the winner of the Maryland-West Virginia game if they survive the first game. And then it'd be off to Louisville, where waiting on you there is likely either Virginia or San Diego State, unless a 12 or 13 could get there. Virginia is one of those teams like Tennessee, who likes to play defense and slow it down a little bit. A little bit of what Texas A&M tried to do with Alabama today.
Well, let's remember they've got an elite coach in Tony Bennett. But, watching them last night against Duke, and Duke has gotten hot, and I know we'll bring them up in a little bit. Virginia's just tailed off. I thought, for a good, solid month, they were going to be probably a 2 seed. They're not playing their best basketball right now. Still a dangerous team.
And we judge it a lot by what they've done in the ACC. We don't know how good that conference is,
That's right. The ACC ended up with 5 teams, 8 for the Big Ten, 8 for the SEC. But at one point we were talking about possibly 10 teams from the Big Ten. So they sort of slipped off near the end of the year. Their usual March falter happened a little earlier this year.
Yeah, and I think like Michigan State being a 7 is high. Penn State obviously had a nice run in the tournament. But, Purdue just, watching them today, they allowed Penn State to come back into that game. I just don't know how good Purdue really is. Zach Edey is legitimate. He's going to be a nightmare matchup for anyone they play. But you brought this up, months ago. If he ever gets in foul trouble, you got problems.
It would be way down the road. But I'm watching Alabama today, and Bediako's playing his best basketball.
That's right.
If Alabama had to play a team like that, I think they're pretty well equipped to do it.
And then you've got a Pringle or a Gurley should Bediako get in foul trouble.
There's one of those matchups you look at.
Yeah. So Alabama's path could be beat the 16 play-in winner, Maryland or West Virginia. Either would be an interesting game. And then you're out of Birmingham to Louisville, Virginia. And then you would play either a trio of Arizona, Baylor, or Creighton to get to your first ever Final Four.
Maybe Missouri, man. Watching Dennis Gates and
he
can coach, man. Kobe Brown is a legitimate player, and Alabama played some of the best basketball this past weekend, but for a minute there, man, Missouri just wouldn't go away, and I just think that's one of those sneaky teams. If they pull the upset in the second round over Arizona, they can make a run.
You're taking a look at the Alabama bracket there, part of our broadcast here live from Walk-Ons, thanks to our friends at Redmont. Go ahead and use that QR code in the corner of the screen, and that will get you a chance to win Chuck's Bucks, right? Just screenshot that QR code, and you got a chance to jump in tomorrow, even Tuesday and Wednesday, even though the play-in game starts. You got all the way through Wednesday to jump into our bracket challenge with our friends at Redmont Vodka. Just wonderful folks there. Again, spreading all over, 22 states now?
It's up to 22. And, a lot of people have these office pools. We were talking about, the handle of illegal betting that will go on. And the majority of this is office pools. So we suggest you recommend to your friends, run it through Redmont in the next round. Win Chuck's Bucks. You've got a great scoring system right there.
That's right.
So tell everybody, pass it along, and get registered.
Now, the other side of the big story, Alabama's the number 1 overall seed, but Auburn is in, and they're not a 10 or an 11. They didn't have to sweat this at all. Auburn's a 9 seed, and more than not sweating, as you look at the Auburn bracket there in the Midwest, they're a 9 in the Midwest, but they get Birmingham.
Oh,
so the possibility of getting Birmingham for 2 dates is absolutely huge.
Man, if I'm Iowa and Houston,
I'm pissed off.
I feel like I'm about to play at Neville Arena.
Especially if I'm not, especially if I'm a 1 seed, you have protected me 0.
Yeah, let me go backwards though. If you're Iowa and you're the higher seed,
that's right,
and you've got to start Birmingham. I mean, Auburn's going to be favored in that game. I haven't seen any numbers. I'm going to pull them in a minute. Auburn will be favored in that game. Auburn's schizophrenic, so who knows? Iowa could easily beat them, especially when Iowa's one of these teams that loves to throw up the threes.
But you guys have said, watching Auburn, even when they've been losing these close games, you said if they were in the tournament. And then, of course, it got to where they were going to be in the tournament, that they had the capability of winning 1 or 2 games, that they're that kind of talent. They could be playing Sweet 16 weekend if they found their legs.
Well, I threw out in one of our 4 downs on Friday, Auburn's wins in the NCAA tournament at a half. Would you go over that they get out of that first round? Looking at it now, yeah. And now that they're in Birmingham, Marcus Sasser's got a hamstring problem right now.
That's right. Didn't play today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he's not 100%, I mean,
look at him today. Memphis controlled that game.
And I'll tell you, they probably don't want – I mean, it could be a revenge game. If Miami's actually got a tough 5-12 against Drake. Drake's a pretty good team.
They really do.
But if Miami gets their Miami-Auburn matchup, I mean, Auburn could go on a run. Again, they could be one and done. They could go on a run.
Yeah, but, you want to to me, always that first game sort of sets the tone. Like that second game, I know it's against the 1 seed, but if you win that first one, then you sort of got your legs under you, quick turnaround for that second one, and then you sort of the same way the next weekend to have the ability to do it in Birmingham and have as many Auburn fans there as you can. That is huge.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm stunned by it, but I shouldn't be, because who usually gets that kind of treatment? Duke and North Carolina. No matter what seed they are, it seems like it's in Greensboro or Charlotte or in Raleigh or something like that. Yeah. Well, here we go. It's not far from the campus for Auburn, and good for the SEC and good for the NCAA, giving Auburn a chance here with Alabama in Birmingham these first rounds. But if you're old school like me, just because they're playing in Birmingham, Brown, they're in different brackets. So they wouldn't meet until the Final Four.
NH3425 says he's seeing Iowa -2, Lance.
Okay.
So got an early upset alert.
Yeah, well, I said that this game was going to be -2.5 either way, whoever Auburn played, because we assumed it was going to be an 8-9 or a 7-10. Again, I right now like the Auburn Tigers.
Thanks to our buddy John Lunsford, who's throwing up the brackets and graphics, working hard on that, getting those up. Taylor Korn, getting those going. Everything on social media out there at Next Round Live. Wherever you're watching us tonight, make sure you like it. Thank you to Redmont Vodka. Thank you to all the great folks at Walk-Ons, all locations in Birmingham and around the country, but especially to our man Ken and the 280 location. We appreciate you guys so much. We'll get to the rest of the bracket in a second, but Brownie's got some comments and questions from the audience.
Just real quick, because we're getting this a lot. Preston asked, when will we know start times? So they released the bracket. CBS consumes it. TNT, all that. We'll know that within a couple hours.
Yeah, it may be out here shortly because they had a chance to really have this bracket. There was nothing going on today that changed the bracket at all.
You guys don't think that, and I don't know how this really sets up with the 4 first-round games in Birmingham, but could Alabama and Auburn be in the same session?
They on the last day.
Not on the first day, though.
Not on the first day. That'll be a separate session.
Because you would play the most close to time. So Alabama, Texas A&M, and Maryland, West Virginia would be in one session. And then Auburn and Houston will be in a different session.
But then on Saturday,
it's
all one session.
All one session.
So, do you guys think that Alabama will be that early game or night game?
It depends on TV partners.
But I don't know. Well, who's your West Coast 1 seed?
West Coast 1 is Kansas.
Where
is Howard.
That's in Denver.
Yeah, I don't know where it is. I don't know where they got sent.
Yeah,
the first round games. I'm just saying this in the West region. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah.
Do you have the location of Kansas's first round game?
I do not.
Okay. I don't have that. I'm in front of me right now, Brownie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think that would determine it.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, you're going to have normally you got a 16 game late at night.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So I would think Bama's probably a day game, but there's no way again.
I'll tell you, they made up for the. I know a lot of people did not want 2 1s in Birmingham because that 1-16 game is usually a slaughter. But they made up bringing Auburn. Again, sucks for Iowa, sucks for Houston.
Sucks for people wanting to buy tickets. That's going to be a crazy ticket.
Impossible ticket. We were talking yesterday, and I forgot who it was. I think it was our buddy AB, and he said he was checking online yesterday, and the cheapest ticket he saw, a single, was $475.
That was when everybody thought it was just Alabama.
Yeah, that's right. Can't imagine what this ticket will be. West Virginia played in this facility last year against UAB. The remodeled Legacy Arena.
They probably travel pretty well.
Yeah, they do. They traveled well that time. Maryland's got a good fan base. They won the national championship in Atlanta and took over the Georgia Dome, I remember back then. Iowa, I'm sure, travels really well. So it'll be an interesting time in Birmingham. Some more questions, Browns, and then we'll jump in to the rest of the bracket. But that's Alabama and Auburn. Table said Auburn's a 9. Alabama's a 1, and the Big Ten and SEC share each getting an 8, but Alabama's the number 1 overall seed.
Cody, these are moving so quickly. Hang on one second. Cody says Purdue doesn't make it past Memphis or FAU.
Purdue.
Always pick against them.
Yep. Texas Southern and Fairleigh Dickinson are the opener. Then it's Memphis and FAU. That FAU team, if you watch UAB get beat by them last night, they were in a different gear last night against UAB.
But Memphis has been in the different gear too. So to me, I haven't seen that number. I'm going to assume Memphis is going to be a 1-point favorite. It'll be right around a pick. I do think the winner of that game is going to be Purdue.
You do?
Do you?
Yep.
That's your 8-9 over 1?
That's
so you agree with Cody?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Cody Carter and LT agree with each other.
I think we might have 3 1s that are gone by the second round.
But
I don't think it's Alabama.
I was about to say, jump the script.
Again, I think that they got an incredible draw.
So you think Purdue, Houston, and Kansas could be out before we get to the Sweet 16?
I mean, Kansas could be matching up with Arkansas. I think Arkansas will win that game. We know how athletic Arkansas is. I don't know how they blew that game the other night against A&M. And then, obviously, Houston, if they had to play Auburn in the second round. I don't know. That's tricky, man. There were some bad draws for some of these 1 seeds.
Good to be Alabama right now. Thank you to Redmont Vodka. That QR code you see in the screen will get you into our bracket challenge here on the next round. And that's the chance to win Chuck's Bucks, $1 million with our friends at Redmont Vodka, and a lot of other great prizes. And remember, wherever you are in the country, when you order your vodka, make sure you say the name Redmont. Order it by name. Redmont Vodka, Redmont Vodka, Redmont Vodka, wherever you are, especially down on the Lake and Gulf Coast this year. Redmont Vodka as you enjoy March Madness. What else we have, Brownie?
Well, a lot of people are talking tickets. People are worried about being able to get that ticket now.
Good luck.
Yeah. Blake says Auburn should have been sent somewhere else. Can't give a home court advantage over a 1 seed.
I agree. I mean, I don't know how the selection committee did that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Houston fan, I don't know how many of them are, but you've got to be pissed off about this.
Yeah,
you're cheering big for Iowa.
But keep in mind, when that game is played, you'll still have Alabama fans in the arena who will become Houston fans.
That's true.
So Houston will have teams, another team's
But
fans.
you don't put somebody an hour and 45 minutes down the road in their biggest fan base city that has lost 9 of 13 games.
Yeah. But to be honest with you, it's sort of a little unfair to Alabama.
Well, because it will hurt their ability to get tickets.
That's
for
right.
That second session.
Because if it's Alabama Auburn playing in the 32 round, is that one ticket? I think it is.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Yeah.
It's one ticket. So that means half the place can be Auburn fans, half the place can be Alabama fans. You like you said, they turn on each other cheering
That's
for
right.
the other team.
Yep.
So really, that's damning for Alabama as well,
Yeah.
that they can have 16,000 fans in there.
Auburn fans will be Maryland, West Virginia fans, and Alabama fans will be Houston fans.
Yeah.
That's the way that's going to go. It'll be a great atmosphere.
Oh, and think about Birmingham.
Like
We were talking
Iron
about this.
Bowl.
Our friend,
Every
I
play,
know.
somebody's cheering for
I
something.
know.
our friends from Redmont Vodka were there. We were talking about these fan bases are going to get in on Wednesday. So Wednesday night's going to be a wild night. It's
Yep.
going to start early Thursday. We're going to be at the Southern Broadcasting before the game, and they're going to be opening early like Losers did for us, so people can come pregame.
So that's
the
9-1 Southern.
Yep.
We're out there, or 9-12.
That's on Thursday. So Thursday will just be a madhouse with the games. Thursday night, then people will just have an off day to watch college basketball all day in the city. And so Friday is going to be great. And then Saturday, I mean, the two. Imagine Houston, Auburn, and Alabama, and it doesn't matter. Maryland or West
That'd be
Virginia.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Terrence is $392 in line to buy tickets. NH345 $500 in line.
Hey,
So
keep
get
digging,
in line
guys.
now.
Keep digging, guys. Whoever you cheer for, they're going to need you in that arena there. Hey, and if you look for a place to sell it, you can sell it to our friends at ATIX. You can buy them at ATIX, right?
822-7382.
Yeah. Do they buy tickets sometimes? Don't
Yeah.
they?
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm sure Dan and Steve and LT and everybody over there, they were probably looking for tickets right now.
You think they popped a bottle when they got Alabama and
I don't
Auburn?
know.
If they
Maybe
did, you think they went, pour us a drink, boys?
No, if they have them on hand, yeah. If they
Yeah.
don't, I mean,
Might
it's going to
be
be a pain in the
Might
ass.
be a bigger headache than a
Yeah.
blessing.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Because they will always want to take care of you. They got so many repeat customers, and they want to make sure they take care of those. But if you can't find the tickets, you can't find the tickets.
Think about how quick this turnaround is.
We got an Alabama fan over here. Sir, can you get his
You're
attention?
never going to hear you.
Yeah. I know it's loud.
Yeah.
Do you like the draw? You like Alabama's draw?
You can't hear you.
Yeah. He wants us to turn off CBS so he can hear us there. If I'm an Alabama fan, I love this draw. I mean, it's always going to be tough.
Yeah.
But when Auburn went to the Final Four, it's the shirt I have on. Who do they have to beat to get there?
They had to beat Kansas, Kentucky, and North Carolina in consecutive games.
Yeah.
Well,
Not in that order.
and I remember we were at Buffalo Wild Wings downtown on the south side doing that Thursday show. We didn't think Auburn was going to escape New Mexico State in the first round.
That was the toughest game they had.
Chris Jans, right?
Yeah, I think he was already there. Yeah.
And
They got in, by the way.
Chuma Akiki had gone down. So your
I
best
think that
player was up.
I think that was later, right?
Yeah, I think it was against North Carolina.
Yeah.
That was still an amazing run.
Yeah.
Paul
but
says
just
Bama.
just the Blue Bloods.
Paul says Bama is a great draw. He agrees. Lance liked the draw.
I'm going on and telling you, I'll have them in the Final Four now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what that means. We were watching, I think 4 for 4 CBS had them, didn't they?
Yeah, everybody on CBS, the main show, had Alabama
And Seth-
in the Final Four, and Seth had them. The two of them had them in the national championship game, Clark and Seth had them winning the national championship. And I got chills. I did.
For a CBS guy picking Alabama.
I
Jimmy
did.
Bama.
Because,
Wow.
No, but I looked at Lance and you, and I said, what? I said, did you think you'd ever live to see a day that Alabama's the #1 overall seed in basketball?
Never, ever.
And that everybody has them in the Final Four, which in my lifetime, they've never been. They've never been ever.
Right.
And then one guy has them winning the national championship in basketball. It's surreal. It's so awesome.
Paul says, if I'm Fran McCaffrey, I'm pissed. I think that's Fran McCaffrey every day.
Yeah.
I think he wakes up in that state.
But that's good. If
Yeah.
I bet he is bitching.
Oh, you know he is.
if Fran McCaffrey's coming to our town, I want the best bitchy Fran McCaffrey I can get, and this is the best way to get
That's
that.
him.
Yep.
Brian asked if Bama had more fans for all the games in Nashville. Yes.
Yeah. They did today for sure. They
Oh,
they
that
own
was-
the arena today. Yeah.
Yeah, but yesterday against Missouri,
Yeah.
it was that way. And then
Yeah.
Friday,
Kentucky was still there. So
yeah, but they still had many more fans in the state. So,
Yeah.
yes, is the answer to the question.
yeah, really good. All right, so let's bounce around to the other SEC teams first, and then we'll come back. In Alabama's region, you also get Missouri, as LT mentioned, as a 7 seed against Utah State. I'll be honest with you. I was when I was leading in the last 3 or 4 weeks watching this, I didn't think Utah State was going to make it. So they're there. I think that's a good matchup for Missouri.
Missouri will definitely be favored in that game.
And then they get the Arizona Princeton winner. Down in the South where you have Auburn, you also have Mississippi State and Pitt. Mississippi State has to go to the play-in game. Pitt at one time was leading the ACC.
Yeah.
So that's they've slipped down here lately.
Pitt's another one of those schizophrenic teams, though.
And then
I think Mississippi State wins that game, though.
The winner gets Iowa State. So you have Mississippi State, Pitt, tough game. Winner gets Iowa State, tough game. But you could see Mississippi State advancing out, right?
Yeah, but I don't see them beating Xavier. But they're a really, really good defensive team.
Xavier and Texas are in that region. The committee says they never do this, but Texas A&M also in that Midwest against Penn State, who's hot. If Texas A&M wins that one, who do they get?
They get the Longhorns of Texas.
Texas A&M, Texas in the round of 32.
And I've got Texas A&M upsetting Texas in the second round. I really do.
Find that guard play.
Texas A&M is underseeded. Yeah. They deserve higher than a 7 seed. I mean, that team has gotten better and better and better.
I thought they were a 5. I thought they should have been a 5.
I thought 5, yeah.
And all they did was lose today to the number 1 overall seed. How do you move?
Play with them for a little bit.
Yeah.
And give them that draw playing a 2 seed in the second round against Texas.
Yeah. So Texas A&M, Texas. That's a tough draw for them. You're right. They should be on the 5 line or at least the 6 line. They should have been where Iowa State was or where Miami is or in a different region. Somewhere else other than a 7.
I wish I had these locations because I wonder what the other pod is with Texas and Texas A&M, because if they play, that ticket is going to be massive.
Yeah, you're right. It's the old Louisville, Kentucky first time they met because it's been a while since they played each other in any sport. In the West, where Kansas got sent out west, you have Arkansas in an 8-9 matchup against number 9 seed Illinois. Winner gets Kansas.
Interesting game. Arkansas is a little schizophrenic too.
Yeah.
But if they got Kansas,
I feel like they get a little bit more comfortable with Nick Smith every day. He makes some big shots. How they lost that game the other night to a Texas A&M team, I don't know.
And we don't know about Bill Self.
But to me, the West, you don't. And he says he's going to coach. Got released from the hospital today. Thanked everybody. But it could be a swan song too. If this is his last time, they could be playing with that kind of emotion. But by far, the West is the toughest to me. Kansas, Arkansas, St. Mary's, UConn, TCU, Gonzaga, UCLA. That's a tough-ass region.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I look forward to, because I think UCLA walks into the second weekend, even without Jalen Clark. They got upset, not upset. They lost by 2 to Arizona, but this is a really, really good UCLA team that everybody had on the 1 line for the last couple of weeks. I think they walk to the second weekend, and a Gonzaga-UCLA matchup could be really, really big.
Really one for the ages.
Yeah, I think Kansas has got some problems.
And then in the East, you've got Purdue as the number 1. We mentioned Memphis and Florida Atlantic getting them in the second one. Tennessee is there.
Brett asked, can Louisiana beat them?
Louisiana could beat them, but I don't think so. But then Tennessee and Duke, most likely in the 4 or 5 in the next round.
Don't want Duke right now.
You don't want Duke right now.
I mean, they've won 9 straight, 5 of those by double digits. And, in year 1, I didn't know what to expect from John Shire. But, 35-year-old first season winning the ACC tournament, I think that could be one of those dangerous teams, and especially if Memphis, Florida Atlantic was to upset Purdue. And I could see Duke make a roll to a regional final.
Wasn't Oral Roberts a lot of people's sexy 12 without knowing who they played?
Yeah.
Well, and they've got one of the Max Abbas kid is one of the top scorers in college basketball.
An All-American guard.
Yeah.
And I think they've been to, I don't know how many consecutive NCAA tournaments. So they've got tournament experience. So that'll be a dangerous 5-12. I mean, Duke will probably be 7-8 point favorite. I wish I could find these numbers.
Kentucky is a 6 seed. They get Providence, a dangerous game. Providence out of the underrated Big East. And then the winner gets Kansas State, most likely, before they move on to the second weekend. So those are where the SEC teams settled. Again, Florida Atlantic, who beat UAB for the championship. UAB will be off to the NIT. Florida Atlantic beat them last night. They're all the way up as a 9 seed, which is a great respect for what Florida Atlantic had done this year in Conference USA. So those are some of the big overviews. More of your answers here, but I want to remind you, our friends at Redmont Vodka bringing you our special coverage after Selection Sunday, the selection show. And Alabama's the number 1 overall seed. They'll play Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, or Southeast Missouri State. They'll play in the first game on Tuesday. And then Auburn is a 9 seed. They're also coming to Birmingham, but they're in the Midwest region. They get Iowa, and then if they win, they would play Houston on Saturday. So good draw for Auburn, great draw for Alabama, and 8 SEC teams are in there. Redmont Vodka is always a great choice for you when you're looking and ordering your drinks this spring and summer. And all through the madness of March, make sure it's Redmont Distilling, 22 states around the country and continuing to grow. It is Charles Barkley's company. Great taste, mixes with anything, and perfect to get your bracket going right. Use that QR code and jump in for Chuck's Bucks and enter our bracket challenge. That's how you can win with the next round. $1 million if you're perfect, but a lot of other great prizes as well from our buddy Charles Barkley and the great Redmont Vodka, folks. Live legendary, drink responsibly with our friends at Redmont.
I can't find numbers on these games at any of my
killing
sites
you,
right
isn't
now.
it?
It is. I'll be pretty accurate on most of these.
Okay.
All right.
Brownie,
Well,
any more from our viewers?
We're being asked about some games. Elbert asked USC Marquette, LT.
I mean, Boogie Ellis.
Great name.
Yeah,
He's a USC player.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So if he's on, again, USC's got. I mean, Tom Izzo. I don't think this Michigan State team is good. I think they're overseeded as a 7. You can't tell me Michigan State's right there with Texas A&M. With that said, they're always dangerous in March, or they seem to be. So that's a tough matchup. I think USC's got too much athleticism for Michigan State. So I would take USC there. And Marquette is a really, really good team, man. Shaka Smart's got that team dialed in.
Okay. Brownie?
We've got a lot of, I could put anybody's comment up there, but so many people are saying Providence, Kentucky, bad matchup for Kentucky.
I've watched Providence a couple of times. They seem to always be really good at home, LT, not the same on the road.
Well, I'm bitter at Kentucky right now. That was my lock on Friday, and I still don't know how. Give Jerry Stackhouse a lot of credit. That Vanderbilt team really came on, obviously, the last month of the season. But Kentucky, I don't know what to think. I thought Kentucky going into this tournament was going to be a handful. I thought Kentucky had a really good opportunity to win the SEC tournament, and now I don't know what to think about Kentucky.
Cody asked, how far does Duke go? You were just talking about that. What about Indiana 4 seed, A&M a 7? Brett says that's BS.
Which one was that?
Indiana's a 4, Texas A&M's a 7.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I mean, for a minute, Indiana looked like second best team in the Big Ten. But I don't trust Indiana. Again, I don't trust that conference. I think it's overrated.
Tripp says Auburn -1 at Caesars right now.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
That's what you had said originally.
Yeah.
Somebody had said Iowa 2, but 1.
I'll tell you the problem, and not that it's always right. I would assume the consensus out there, betting consensus, is going to be playing Auburn because they're in their backyard.
Right.
Probably so, yeah.
I would say, Lunsford, you're based at our home station there. If you get any lines, pass them along to us. And in fact, you can jump in if you have lines and want to update us on anything. Just let Brown know and just jump in with us.
Bobby says a month ago I thought Shire was going to get run. Now I got him in the Final Four.
Yeah,
I'm
almost right there with Bobby. I mean, I look at again, Duke could lose in the first round to Oral Roberts. This is one of those tournaments, so it is going to be so unpredictable. I know we have not ironed out the bracket challenge yet. But it's going to be impossible.
Yeah.
Chris is here, by the way. He's one of the great listeners who showed up here at Walk-Ons 280. He is the guy that recommended Testicle Festival, and he came back.
Terrible recommendation.
Rubbing it in.
Yes. All right. React to these, Lance. Here's from Lunsford. I believe these are FanDuel.
Yeah, tell me what the game is.
Auburn -1. Well, I just gave you that one. Arkansas.
Arkansas, Illinois. Arkansas is going to be a 2.5 points.
2.5 point favorite. Texas A&M.
Texas A&M, again, Penn State's playing good. It's kind of the A&M of the Big Ten right now. A&M is going to be favored 3.5.
A&M favored 3. Tennessee.
Tennessee is going to be a 9-point favorite.
Tennessee favored 10.5. Missouri, as Wimp would say.
Missouri is going to be, where are they on the bracket? They're a 7-10, aren't they?
Who are we looking for?
Yeah, Missouri. Utah State.
7-10 against Utah State.
Missouri will be a 7-point favorite.
Missouri, Lunsford has them catching 1.5 points.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
think Lance found a game he liked. There will be no Alabama line yet, right? Because we don't even know who they're playing.
No opponent.
Right.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky, Providence, Kentucky 4.
I had them at 5.5. What do you have?
Lunsford shows FanDuel, Kentucky -3.
Wow.
Kentucky -3.
I mean, 'cause to me, LT,
It's a tough game.
Tell me if I'm wrong. Like with Alabama football, it always seems like they're just a little bit more because of the reputation, because it's a name brand. Them being 3, that's
I think it's a toss-up game.
Yeah, it's a tough game.
And you guys have said
you get a little bump being a name brand, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They inflate the
handle.
numbers.
Yeah.
You guys have said pretty much all season that you think Kentucky's fan base would want Calipari out. We were having dinner last night in Nashville. 2 Kentucky fans, longtime Kentucky fans sitting next to us, had the conversation. They were like, we're ready for him to be gone. And they said the problem is it's like a $30 million buyout.
That's right.
And I can't even imagine if he loses in the first round.
No, you would be praying that he gets a job like Texas, right? Like Texas really, I mean, I don't know why you would not want their guy who's been their interim coach. He just won the Big 12 championship and has them at a 2 seed. But if Calipari and somebody came and hired him away.
So you think they would pay that buyout?
I think Kentucky would wait to get rid of him. So they wouldn't have to pay him to fire him.
I got you.
Or move on.
Yeah. We asked the obvious question. Fire Cal, who you want? Tell them without hesitation. Who did he say?
Nate Oates.
Yep. Without hesitation.
And you know why? And it's not just that he's the Alabama coach and he's the number 1 overall seed. But imagine if you're at a place like Kentucky with a great history and you're able to recruit with that style of play, right? That was, I mean, Rick Pitino early on in the 90s when he was building Kentucky, he brought in that reputation of, I let my guys shoot the threes, man. Shoot the threes. Shoot the threes. I don't care if you miss, shoot the threes. And that is so easy to recruit to.
It's a fun style. Just flip the uniforms. This is back to your point on Kentucky being inflated to 3. If Alabama's roster was Kentucky,
no.
I mean, everybody would, well, I would say about 50.
They'd be the overall number 1.
They'd be the overall number 1 seed.
But with that, I was going to say about 50% of the brackets would have them winning it all.
No, but I would tell you this. They would be discussing, is this one of the best college basketball teams of all time? And they're not going to do that with Alabama, no matter what happens.
If Alabama, for whatever reason, went on this run and won 6 games and won the national championship, I think people would start to look back. I mean, you're talking about a team that has now won a program record 29 games.
Yeah.
So if they win 35 games in a season,
that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and seriously, I don't know how far they go. They could lose, the second round game to either Maryland or West Virginia. But if they were to win it all, the team is so deep. And
we saw that today with the foul trouble.
With the foul trouble, they're so deep. I mean, our buddy Namari Burnett didn't even get in today. In some games, Gurley doesn't play at all.
Yeah.
Well, and
look, in certain matchups, he's a big part.
Yeah.
And they can shoot themselves out of a game. They look dominant this weekend, and they were 33 of 100 behind the arc.
That's right. Still not on fire yet.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better than it was.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of DraftKings lines. Stayed in the play-in game.
Mississippi State is interesting game there.
Underdog.
I'm going to say Mississippi State is actually, I think it's a pick.
-2.
Okay.
So State's the favorite by 2?
State favored by 2.
Ooh, how about the SEC reputation against the ACC?
Yeah.
I got a bunch of non-SEC. You want to go with those?
Yeah.
Yes.
West Virginia.
West Virginia, Maryland. Maryland is going to be a 2.5-point favorite.
Lunsford has it at West Virginia -2. This is from DraftKings.
Wow.
So this is
-2.
So what's happening here? If he says West Virginia, then they're the favorites.
All right, Boise, Northwestern.
Oh.
Northwestern is going to be the favorite. This is where he flipped it. Northwestern is going to be a 3-point favorite.
Don't read into it too much. -2, Boise.
Wow.
From DraftKings, -2. We did Duke Oral Roberts, right? Duke -7.
Yep.
San Diego State, Charleston.
San Diego State is going to be a 4.5-point favorite.
Bingo.
I would take Charleston all day long in that one, by the way.
That's a 12-5 for you?
Yep. I mean, you're right, LT. Charleston, San Diego State, Drake, and Miami. Miami is so much better than San Diego State. St. Mary's is a good basketball team, but VCU is dangerous. Oral Roberts has got an All-American guard in Duke. I would say one upset's guaranteed there.
Yeah, I would agree. I think there will be a 12 that will move on.
Creighton, NC State.
And I'm going to go Charleston over San Diego State, I think.
Dunaway's in love with this Creighton team. I don't know why. Creighton is going to be a 3-point favorite.
5.5.
I mean, look at the ACC. They've only got 5 in.
Yeah.
NC State's an 11. Pitt's an 11. Duke's a 5. They've got teams in, but Virginia's a 4. Just they're not all great seeds.
I think Clemson fans are pissed because they beat NC State, I think, 3 times this year.
But they really, sometimes you find little quirks like that, and you go, well, why are they ahead of us?
Yep. 4 seed Indiana, Kent State.
This is going to be a smaller number than most think. I think Indiana is going to be 6.
5.5, even smaller than you thought.
Okay, but look, if Miami gets past Drake, Miami and Indiana.
I'd like Miami.
I'd like Miami.
Yeah. Which goes back to you have
Miami Auburn. We could see it.
You had Miami going. You said they had the athletes that could go deep.
St. Mary's VCU.
Oh.
St. Mary's looks so not just because they all look like
5 white guys.
Just because not because they all look like me. They look so unathletic when Gonzaga was taking them to the woodshed the other night.
I will say that they are.
Nice T-shirt.
St. Mary's is a 2-point favorite.
We got St. Mary's favored 5 in that one.
Okay.
Michigan State, USC.
Michigan State is going to be a 2-point favorite.
1.5.
You're all over USC already, right? You're going to try to lock that in before the number shifts.
I like USC in that matchup.
Memphis, Florida Atlantic.
Oh, I think
maybe the best first round game.
Memphis is going to be 1.
Memphis 2.5. Miami Drake. There's that game you were talking about.
Miami 4.5.
3.5.
Hey, the ACC numbers are like there is no respect for this conference.
Yep. That's all I got right now. I've given you everything Lunsford has given me there.
All right, Redmont bringing you our reaction show here. Time for just a couple of more questions. We'll get out of here, but I would like to remind you we're live 9 a.m. Central tomorrow. Thanks for watching us on this video platform while you're hanging out with us right now. Remember to whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's on Twitch or Facebook, Twitter, or on YouTube. Remember, make sure you're subscribed or following us there and give us a like and, a little thumbs up. We appreciate that so much. Thank you so much to the folks here at Walk-Ons, hardworking staff. We've got family members now who work here as well. We think that much of this place. And then our friends at Redmont, they've been with us all weekend.
Yeah.
Up in Nashville, they've been hanging out with us and just great people. We're so proud to represent the Redmont brand.
Again, it's a locally owned and operated product. You see Chuck back there. You have an opportunity to win Chuck's Pucks, but ask for it by name. It's gluten-free, 8 times distilled. It's really, really good vodka.
By the way, thank you to our friends at Bud Light.
Yep.
I
did not think I was going to touch alcohol today, but here we go.
Enjoying the Bud Light. Brown's drinking a cool Diet Coke over here. Thank you to our friends at Coca-Cola, all of our great sponsors who have us hydrated and ready to go with madness here.
Josh says, Brown, we need the Kim Pom teams. I'll do this on the fly if you guys want to keep up with them.
Okay, you want to do this here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We can do it on the show again tomorrow, though. UCLA.
Okay.
They're number 1 in overall defense, but keep in mind they lost their best defender.
Yeah.
So put a star by that one.
We hadn't corrected yet.
Alabama.
Okay.
Houston.
Yep.
Kansas.
Okay.
St. Mary's barely.
Okay.
Texas.
Okay.
We haven't talked much about them.
Yep.
Y'all got them losing A&M.
Trending well. I don't have losing to A&M.
Creighton. Been there all year, by the way. UConn.
They really have been there all year. LT. UConn.
And that is it. Purdue just barely misses. I mean, by 1. Purdue's close enough that if they won it all, they would play their way into the criteria.
That's
top
right.
25 defensive efficiency, top 40 offensive on Ken Pom. That's what I just gave you right there.
I mean, UConn's first matchup. UConn plays really physical, tough defense, but they're playing Iona, a Rick Pitino coach team. Alabama survived that a couple of years ago, but it's not an easy game.
No, but they've got a lot of size.
Yep.
So I think too much size for Iona. I think UConn can make a little run.
We got Birmingham TV times. So we have stayed here long enough to get some Birmingham TV times.
Okay.
You guys are ready. The first game, Thursday, 11:15.
Maryland, West Virginia.
Maryland, West Virginia on CBS.
Wow.
I was just guessing that.
You guessed it right. That will be followed, of course, because it's in the same session. Alabama. It's a 1:45 tip time for Alabama. Also on CBS. The night session, 5:50 Auburn, Iowa, TNT. And then the late game is 8:20 Northern Kentucky, Houston, also on TNT. So Bama 11:15, Auburn 5:50 Thursday.
I would have gone Auburn the later game.
I would have too.
Yeah.
to have more people in the arena for all the games. I would have too.
I think, don't they like having a one? Well, I don't know, because they don't play the same day. I always feel like we get that late night 1 seed, and that's what you got with Houston.
Well, I would also tell you that 8:20, Houston's a large TV market, and you don't want them in a 5:50 drive home time. More time for people to get by the TV sets. Just my guess on that.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
The top 10 market gives time to people to get home and watch it.
I mean, I've got the whole tournament. I don't know if you all want to run through all the tip times. There's a game. I mean, if you want me to just try to find the good games.
Well, let's go all the SECs.
All right.
You've done Alabama and Auburn. You just call them out.
If Mississippi State advances, they would play at 2:10
on Thursday. Or Friday.
That is a Friday. I'm sorry.
Friday.
2:10 on Friday.
So they have the
All right,
Wednesday night playing game, and then a Friday at 2:10.
This would probably be easier if I started with Thursday, wouldn't it? I accidentally started with Friday.
That's okay. No.
Mississippi State is going to play the 8:10 play-in game against Pitt.
8:10 Wednesday
8:10 on True TV Tuesday night.
To that time of year, we always find out where True TV is.
Right. Tuesday night, 8:10 True TV. Missouri, 12:40 TNT Thursday. 12:40 TNT Thursday in Sacramento.
Wow, that's an early wake up.
Yeah, boy, it is.
So it's 12:40.
That's 12:40 Central Time.
Central Time. So 10:40 tip.
12:40 Central Time, Sacramento. Yep.
So 10:40 tip in Sacramento.
Yeah. Real quick, this is interesting. Before I move on, Birmingham's getting the Jim Nance, Bill Raftery, Grant Hill team.
Really?
And your girl Tracy Wolfson. Yeah.
So they're coming to Birmingham.
They are.
So
your boy Jim Nance going to be here in town.
Wow. Hey, I'm telling you,
Maybe
man.
able to get him on the show. Actually, I got a connection with Jim Nance. Would y'all like to have Nance on? This is his last run.
We would. It is his last run.
Yeah, this last time he's doing the NCAA tournament.
Wow.
I think Lance is about to say, I don't know.
No, I was going to say, I bet I know where you're staying. Do you think he stays? No, seriously. Does he stay at the Grand Bohemian because it's kind of exclusive, or does he stay at the Westin because it's across the street?
Next door. I'd go next door.
I think he's staying at Shoal Creek.
Yeah,
they could. Yeah,
he's staying at the golf course.
It's a commute though.
Thursday, Arkansas, 3:30 TBS from Des Moines.
Seriously, back to Nance real quick, and we can ask him if he comes on.
Where are you staying, Jim?
Because Thursday, Saturday would be his game. Chances on Friday he's playing Shoal Creek.
Well, they do the shoot-arounds and the press conferences. I don't know, but I bet you he plays some golf. There's a good chance.
Yeah, I mean, the Friday practices are usually closed.
Yeah,
not to him. Yeah.
So 3:30 Thursday, you got Arkansas.
Suey pick, go Hogs.
Gave you the Auburn time. Tennessee, 8:40 Central, CBS from Orlando on Thursday night. Texas A&M, 8:55 Central from Des Moines on Thursday night. Let's go to the Friday games.
This is the way sport used to be back in the 70s, by the way. Before we didn't have a lot of graphics. It was just watching people read.
This stuff's just popping, though, man. I gave him Mississippi State. Let's go to that Florida Atlantic Memphis game you had interest in, Jim, is 8:20 TNT Friday night.
I'll go old school. Look, Brown.
So there you go.
This is old school news. Say Alabama's the number 1 overall seed.
Jim, it has just come out. Alabama is the number 1 overall seed.
They used to take
is James Senior?
They used to take those glasses off and use it as effect.
Yeah.
Is James Senior a big basketball fan or no?
He used to play.
Okay. Doesn't look like a hoopster.
No, I mean, back in the 60s, he looked more like most basketball players in the 60s.
Well, he looks like a second baseman to me, actually.
Yeah, he was a pitcher. And in semi-pro baseball, but they would play. I can remember, and you'd like this because at Indian Springs here, this school, somebody who was his friend. And remember, my dad had me early, so I would be probably 5 or 6. And I remember him driving up on Sundays playing pickup basketball in Indian Springs. And it was like 20, 25 guys where they have multiple teams of 5s, and they would run all afternoon. And it would usually start around 3 o'clock. And I would sit out in the lobby. There was a TV out there, and it was always the Rams. Anytime we were at Indian Springs, was an afternoon Rams game on all the time.
By the way, bigger news than the NCAA bracket is Jalen Ramsey
going to the Dolphins.
But we got a 3rd round selection, and we got
special teamer.
Yeah,
tight end. We don't even play.
3rd team tight end.
So you got a 3rd rounder. That's it.
That's it.
for Jalen Ramsey.
We 2 years ago gave up 2 first rounds to get him.
How do you not get like more than one pick?
I have no idea.
They got a tight end nobody uses. John already asking for Saturday times in Birmingham. You got to wait for the Thursday games first, and then TV looks at matchups and sets times there.
Have y'all eaten?
Yes, I have.
yes.
Thanks for asking.
I'm starving.
Well,
Yeah,
we're
we're winding it down
we're
right
winding
here.
this thing
Tell
down.
them about Redmont one more time. Again, if you're looking for our bracket, I think Lunsford has a link off of our website,
Right
and
there
then
on the
there's
screen.
a QR code on the screen as well. We appreciate you jumping into that bracket there. A chance to win a lot of great prizes. Some people will give you a chance to win $1 million like we are too. Got a chance to win $1 million, but we all know the chance of getting a perfect bracket is more than 1 million to 1. But you got a chance to win $1 million there.
You could be the first person to ever
Yeah.
like there was a first guy to walk on the moon. You could be the first perfect bracket ever.
There was a first guy to ever eat an oyster.
Yeah.
Right? Takes a little courage, but jump in there. But here's the best part. Not everybody's going to give you a chance to win other things. We do. So go sign up, and you got an opportunity to win a bunch of things. Our friends at Redmont Vodka.
Yeah, and I'll get a list of those things for tomorrow's show. Let me work on that.
Sometimes it's better just being things, man. You never know what we're going to throw your way.
Got some things.
Yeah, some great things. But use that QR code, get in there. Make sure your family and friends are in it too. We'll be using that for our bracket challenge, so we're looking forward to that. We'll be announcing our bracket challenge payoff on the show this week, 9 a.m. Central tomorrow. Make sure you join us there. How cool is that Lunsford next round basketball logo in the
Love
corner?
it. Love it.
Beautiful
It's
graphics.
it's our time.
Beautiful graphics. We've become a basketball show.
Have we now?
I'm going to eat.
Let me answer the 2 most popular asked questions.
Okay, before you sign
If
off,
you're just joining
real
us.
quick.
Alabama tips at 1:45 Thursday. Auburn tips at 5:50 Thursday. Saturday, it will be 1 session ticket. If Alabama and Auburn, regardless, but you're asking if Alabama and Auburn there, it is 1 session ticket.
Yeah, you get 2 games for 1
2
ticket.
games for 1 ticket.
And it's going to be a tough ticket. So we always recommend our friends at ATIX. And that number to call ATIX?
823
No, 822.
822-7382.
Okay.
822-7382.
Okay.
Or
Those are
atix.com.
Central times I gave you, of course.
Central Times. But we
Yes.
got a lot of viewers. Congratulations to Tennessee and Arkansas. And Atlanta is my big Georgia fan who lives here, says, okay, you're not in the tournament, but you're still celebrating a football national championship. Kennesaw State's in the Atlanta market. They're in for the first time ever. Thanks for being with us. Thank you, Charles Barkley, man. Redmont Vodka. We appreciate you guys joining us. We're back 9 a.m. Central tomorrow. Thank you. Good night, everybody.